I've actually dated a lot of white guys. You know, the economy, it was bad for a while. Oh, I'm very strategic. Like 2 whites ago, this guy I dated, he was the whitest guy I ever dated. He had never been around black people his whole life. And that happens, you know, we're not everywhere. We're not. I go places and I ask, are we here? And nothing comes back. Like I did a show one time, we weren't at that show. So I asked that question. I was like, are there black people here? And this woman's answer was great. She was like, oh, they are all over the place. And that is not how you answer that question. It's like she was talking about an infestation. And then she pointed, she's like, look, there's one. I mean, we've tried everything. I was like, oh, she needed a timeout. But my ex, he hadn't had the experience, so it was fun. Like, I would catch him sometimes just staring at my hair. He would just look. He never touched my hair. He never dealt with it. He just looked. I was with him a long time. He just looked. So I told him one time, I said, touch this shit. He's like, no. I said, put your hands in it. He was like, mm-mm. One time he just patted. He pat my fro. And he reshaped it. And I was looking like Frederick Douglass that day. Oh, I had the part, the whole thing. Thank you for knowing who Frederick. Sometimes, some of you may have to Google who Frederick Douglass is. Just a hint, he's not a rapper, okay? There's no Frederick Lamar out there. One time he was really focused in on my hair because I was in the pool. The family, they had a pool in the backyard. I was in it, I was swimming. You know, they were watching. My hair was wet and he's just looking. He was really focused in on my hair. And he said this, what's gonna happen? Oh, shit. It's still dry. How'd it do that? I mean, it's wet, but dry. It's like she's waterproof or something. All right, see, so most of you, some of you, this is just information. I know. We're not everywhere.
Now, my daughter called me the other day and she's like, I just met a boy. I was like, why? You're born here, you don't need a green card. She's like, Mom, he's really nice. Nice? Who needs nice? We need rich. And she's like, Mom, hear me out. He's an engineering major. I said, okay, I'm listening. He's from Connecticut. Fine, go on. His mom is the head of development at HBO. I said, he's got potential. So I have a third kid. I forget about him sometimes. I don't know what to say about him. I don't really know him. I mean, the nanny says he's perfect. But in our house, we don't use the word nanny. We call her auntie. Because this way she can sit in for us at parent-teacher conferences, at doctor appointments, at college graduations. But speaking of college, I have to tell you, I have uncovered the world's biggest scam. Did you guys know that in this country, the parents don't get to decide what the kid's gonna study? You all knew this? I really thought when my kid goes to college, I will call the college up. And I will say, Comp Sci 1, Comp Sci 2, go. She wants to have some fun. I understand that. Give her one class in chemistry. It does not work that way. They're so rude, they'd hang up on me. So I had to call my kid and ask her. I was like, what are you enrolled in? What are you studying? Are you guys ready for this? Ceramics. $80,000 to learn how to make clay pots. Do you know who else makes clay pots? Villagers in India. Because they have nothing else to do. My kid is in Palo Alto, the epicenter of technology, making clay pots. Why am I being punished, Ganesh? Do you know how bad something has to be when the nice white guy in the audience is like, oh no? And now I have an update on this situation, and you guys are going to think I'm making it up. I'm not. I'm telling you the truth. I just found out that she's required to take a class in wellness. So she's enrolled in meditation, which costs extra. While she's meditating, I'm gonna go have a stroke. I mean, I'm an immigrant parent in America. It's hard for me to raise my kids here. I'll tell you why. Because here, people like to do dangerous things just for fun. Just for the thrill of it. They like to go sliding down mountains, fall out of airplanes, dive into oceans, just for the thrill of it. Back home, when I wanted to experience the thrill, I drank tap water. Now, my son wants to go bungee jumping. Could you imagine? My son, my daughter, whatever. And I said, no, you can't go. And he goes, why not? My friend Scott went. Scott. He put a photo on Instagram. I said, Scott should go bungee jumping. Scott has a B in math. He has nowhere to go but up. You want to put a photo on Instagram, take a picture of your GPA. And you know the other thing that has us immigrant parents really confused is this modern parenting trend in America right now. People trying to be friends with their kids. Anybody know what I'm talking about? Yeah, right? I know brown people are like, what? No, it's a thing. It's a thing here. There are parents in this country right now telling their kids, don't worry about your grades. Don't worry about your job. You be happy. If you are happy, we are happy. Don't worry, be happy. Who's heard that song? You've heard that song? That would never be an Indian song. Our song would be Don't Happy. Be worried. And there is so much to worry about.
Dating, it's complicated because, like, I don't want to do online dating apps, right? Because I feel like people on those apps are on there because they want to meet other people. And I don't really want to meet people who want to meet other people, right? I want to meet people who don't want to meet other people. Then they meet me who also doesn't want to meet other people. Then we fall in love the old-fashioned way, you know, totally by accident. We're both least expecting it. We both have been too hurt to possibly love again, but we fall in love despite ourselves. Then we get married. Then we have 3 kids. Then we get a divorce and live happily ever after. That's the kind of real love I want. I did meet a guy in real life once. It was kind of a funny story because I went to the bookstore and I saw one of these books, like these self-help books, and it was called The Struggle is Real. Right? And on the cover was this hot guy, like with like cool tattoos and like, you know, cool horn-rimmed glasses. And I was like, really? The struggle is real for that guy? Like, what did he have to struggle with? Like, did they put 2% in his oat milk latte once? Like, did his bird scooter run out of battery? Like, I don't understand what this guy ever struggled with. So I made fun of it. I was like with a friend and I was kind of roasting it for a while. And then I went and did some shows in Minnesota. And after one of my shows, this guy came up to me after, and he was kind of cute, and he was like, hey, you know, do you want to get a drink? You were really funny. And I was like, sure. So we got a drink, and we had a really good time. And then we got excited, and we friended each other on all the social media platforms. And I saw that it was the struggle is real guy. I was like, what? This is crazy. So then, like, over a course of a couple weeks, we were flirting, you know, and he was, like, liking my posts on Twitter, and he was, like, watching my Instagram stories and, like, texting me, and, like, we were doing all the different things, right? It was like, whoa, we really like each other. And we were going to meet up and everything. But then over some time, he kind of stopped texting me as much, but he was still, like, liking my tweets and watching my stories. And then he stopped tweeting altogether and stopped texting, but he was still watching my stories. So I was like, okay, we're still together, you know. But then he just stopped all of it, just cold turkey. And I was like, well, that's kind of weird, right? Like, I thought we had something, we had chemistry. So then I did a little research. It's called research when you know the person. Stalking is if you don't know them. So I did some research, and I found out he was on a podcast, and on this podcast, he said that some girl slid into his DMs, and I was like, well, I didn't slide into his DMs, so that wasn't me. So I texted him, I was like, you know, you could have told me you met somebody, you know, it's cool, it's fine, we only had a drink, but, you know, you could have told me, and he's like, I didn't meet anyone, or, you know, so whatever. And so then I unfollowed him, I unfriended him, you know, I stopped texting, and then he unfollowed me and unfriended me, and I was like, well, that's very immature, you know. And then I was like, I felt so hurt, right? Because I was like, I feel really rejected, and I don't understand why. So I have to learn something from this, right? Because I only had one drink with this guy, so I don't understand why I feel so upset about it. It really seems a little unfounded. So I thought about it, and I was like, you know, I realize the two things I learned from this experience are, one is, if you do get to meet someone in real life, don't friend each other on all the social media platforms, right? Because it's just a way to be rejected on all the social media platforms. Like, it's like so many different ways to be rejected. You're like rejected on Twitter, rejected on Instagram, rejected, rejected, rejected. So I was like, I'm never doing that again, right? If I meet someone, I'm just gonna be like, we are not social media friends. It's never happening. And the other takeaway was, I was like, you can actually judge a guy by his book cover.
Being woke, my woke friends have told me I'm not woke enough. I have to be woker. Some people don't even know what woke means, by the way. You know, they don't. You know, see, those are woke people. They're like, yeah, I'll tell you what it means. Let me tell you what it means. Oh, it means that you're conscious of everything, which is great, but it can also be annoying. You know, I'm not woke enough. That's what they've told me. I gotta be woker. You know, Starbucks coffee, I feel guilty if I even walk in. I can't walk into Starbucks coffee. I can't get my dark roast. I feel bad. You know, some brothers, they were arrested. They were just sitting in Starbucks, which is what you do in Starbucks. That's where you go to sit. Now I can't get my dark roast. There's so many products that racist people is like, you just, Chick-fil-A. Oh, I've traveled. Chick-fil-A, it ain't stopping nobody. People are still standing in line for Chick-fil-A. Tasty chicken. They just standing in line like, this is not my issue. This tasty chicken is powerful. There's gonna be nothing left. I mean, some racist people, they make good products. You ever been standing outside? Oh, it smells so good, but they don't like me, but I just want the food. This microphone, someone probably did something. I got to talk like this. Just to be... I'm gonna be walking around naked at some point. They're gonna be like, what's wrong with her? Oh, that bitch is woke. That's what's wrong with her. She woke as yeah. And I have guilt too, because, you know, like I don't talk about politics as much as I want to on stage, because I'm not good at it, and I wish I were. And I realize this, so I have guilt. I have black guilt. Look, there's some white people out there, they're like, I'm like, you can have that shit if you want it. But it's happening. It's when you're black and you haven't done enough, you feel it. Like, I need to do some marching. I need to get a good march in. Okay, it's just my allergies really been acting up. I don't want to be sniffling and protesting at the same time. I'm more of a seasonal protester, you know? It's like, I was thinking maybe the fall. This joke doesn't work in LA, by the way. I need to do more. Like, I wanted to go to the Women's March, the first one in DC. I wanted to do that, but I have a weak bladder. I knew the lines for that bathroom were gonna be long, and they were. They said they were historically long. And when looking back in history, a picture of me just waiting in line for the bathroom. That's not what I want. Or straddling a bush because I couldn't make it. Just looking at my girlfriend like, this is our moment! I'm still peeing. You know, I'm a feminist. I drink a lot of water to get rid of the man.
We fought a lot. That's another sign. We fought about really dumb stuff. Like, we fought once during the show Catfish. Have you guys seen the show Catfish? Yeah. Yes? Okay. Well, apparently, I was talking during the important parts of Catfish. And if you've seen Catfish and you think there are important parts in Catfish, you are part of the problem. It's about people who pretend to be different people online. And he's like, don't you think you could learn something from this? And I was like, the only thing I'm learning is that you're not who I thought you were. Thank you, ladies. Thank you. She's like, going through it right now, man. Going through it right now. I feel you. I feel you. One of our fights was really, really dumb. Even dumber than that. Like, he was sort of competitive with me. I think it's so important to find someone who lifts you up, supports you, you know. And one time, just out of blue, he goes, you know, you're not smarter than me. And I was like, it's actually smarter than I am. And then he said, well, between you and I finished college and you didn't. And I was like, it's actually between you and me. And then he said, you and I are done. And I was like, you got that one right. You guys were so smart, you saw that coming. You knew exactly what the grammar was. Some people don't know the correct grammar, but this is, you can tell you're in a college town, you know? Educated bunch in here. I should have known he wasn't right for me when my mom liked him. That was probably the final straw. You know, she's just so desperate at this point, you know, like she's so sick of having conversations where we have nothing to talk about, like, you know, because I don't have a boyfriend or, as I said, anything except a toaster. And So the conversations are all just like, so how's your car doing? Still driving it, you know? Still has 4 wheels. How's your apartment? Still live there. Yep. So she just wants something else to talk about, you know? And now I think she's just really like hoping I might be gay. She's like holding out for that, because anytime I post a photo with a girl, she emails me and she's like, Dana looks nice. Are you gonna bring Dana home for Christmas? Can't wait to meet her. I'm like, I'm not gay yet. You know, give me 1 more year. 1 more year to try this. Another guy I dated, I called her about. I was like, I'm seeing a new guy. He doesn't have a job right now. There is a slight chance he's a drug addict. Small possibility he's also homeless, because he's been staying with me for about 4 days. Doesn't look like he's making much progress and leaving anytime soon. And she just goes, but he likes you? I was like, Mom, what happened to know your worth, honey? She always said, know your worth. And she was like, that was when you were younger. You were worth a lot more back then. I am getting a little older. I'm not old, but I'm in my 30s. Is anyone in that age range here? Yeah. Wow, you're pretty happy about it. That's good. Good job. Usually they're like, yeah, here. It's funny because for some reason, the second you turn 30, you start saying you're old. You're like, that's it, I'm old now. I'm old. And then for 10 years, you just keep saying it. You're like, I'm old, I'm old, I'm old, I'm old. And then you turn 40 and you're like, now I'm old. I could have been young for an extra 10 years, but I wasted it saying I was old. Now I've lost 10 extra years where I could have been young. Then you turn 80, you're like, now I'm really old. I could have been just kind of old, now I'm really old. Then you die, and you're like, I could have been alive for 82 and a half years. Now I'm dead, I can't even have this brilliant thought.
Like, I had a guy, this was his line to me. He said, I have money. That was it. I was like, well, how much? Right? Don't be vague. Not on that. Be specific. It gets weird, you know, being single, going on dates. Like, one time I was in between an architect and a guy who could do a headstand. These were my options. And the architect is great, because women, we like to say what a guy does for a living. You know, we like to say, oh, he drew that. That was, you know, look, architect. Headstand guy, I don't know how to explain that at a party. If I take him to the party, how am I gonna? They go, what do you do? Baby, go outside and show them that amazing headstand that you can achieve. I mean, it's great stuff. He's on Instagram, it's like in the sun, it's great. I went on a date with him. On the date, he wasn't drinking, which is weird. That's how you get through a date. He's just sober-facing me the whole time. So I asked him, I go, do you drink? That's a normal question to ask someone when they're not drinking, you know, but it threw him. One eye went the other way. And this is what he said, I kid you not. He goes, well, when I'm at the strip club, I have sangria. There's so many problems with that answer. It's on so many levels. It's just, you can't even deal with all the levels of problems in that. I was in a small restaurant in New York. There was a guy in the corner just like, yeah, no, you don't want to. And then I'm wondering, is there a guy at the strip club just chopping fruit for sangria? Kiki's good tonight, yeah. Trying to do things different, though. That's what I'm trying to do. Like, I used to date young. I can't date young anymore. The court said I can't. I can't even look at them, no. I don't mean to. It's like I said, I aged well, and they just come at me. You know, I'll be hanging out at the GameStop, and they just come into my life. What am I supposed to do? I'm like, you want this? Come and get it. But it was exhausting. Dating young, this guy was always awake, just looking at me. Like, what next? I was like, nothing. Take a nap, shit. Go to sleep. This was 3 whites ago, by the way, 3 whites ago. He talked a lot, too. Oh, my God, he talked so much. I told him, I said, I need some white noise, and I don't mean you, okay?
He's super macho. I like that. I'm old school. I like a macho guy. I like my guys macho. You know, the kind of guy that's like, get in the car. Oh. Where are we going? Doesn't matter. There is part of me that wants to be like, don't talk to me like that. But I'm gonna get in the car now. I'm gonna do what you say. On my own accord. Here's the thing. I think women do like macho guys. I think we do. You guys just gotta know when to bring it out in the relationship. Because a lot of guys hide their macho. They're afraid it's too much. You gotta bring it out that first fight. The first fight you have with your girl, show it. Do you know how sexy that is? You're having your first fight with your guy, right? You guys are going back and forth, and he just punches a wall. You're like, oh my God. He was pretending that was my face. Jesus. I might have to marry this one. There's something sexy about that, because there's not a lot of guys now that are like that. There's not a lot, guys. There's guys now that are just... They're wearing skinny jeans. Can we just discuss this for a second? Yeah. Yeah. Why is this happening? I don't feel safe. I don't. Why are you wearing skinny jeans? What if I am in a situation and I'm with Mr. Skinny Jeans? Something goes down. He's like, save yourself! Take a run for it, baby! We are talking marriage, me and the boyfriend. I know. Aww. Was that disappointment or excitement? You're like, oh, don't do that to yourself. I know we have married people here, right? Married people? Woo woo. Yeah. I take marriage really seriously. My parents have been together 55 years, maybe over that. Yeah. You can clap for them. They're in the back. Just give it up. They're in the back. I'm like, thank you, thank you. Yeah, so I take it super seriously. So if I was gonna get married, I'd want a really good wedding. Here's the problem, people are messing up their weddings nowadays. Just went to my girlfriend's wedding, she wrote her own vows. I don't like it. Because she didn't just write vows, she wrote like an epic poem of every feeling she's ever had. Like she got up there, she was like, our love. Is like a blossoming flower. And over time, it has become a garden of love. And as the butterflies of the future, I'm like, what were you on when you wrote this? Your love is like a butterfly? Couldn't it be like a cheetah? I want to get out of here. That's why I wish it was the guy's idea to write the vows. I feel like you guys just get to the point right away. Like he would have just got up there and been like, I'll try not to have sex with anybody else. I'll try. Then they would high five and the wedding's over. It would be the best wedding ever. I was actually recently hit on by a 19-year-old. No. It wasn't sexy. I wish I could say it was sexy. It's not. Here's what happened. Okay, I'm on the bus. All my fun stories happen on New York City subway systems. And this kid comes up to me, and I could see him. You know how you can feel when somebody's about to hit on you? Like, it was like, da-na, da-na. I was like, don't do this. Because I could see him out of the corner of my eye. He's all thugged out. He's like, baggy pants, baggy shirt, like a fitted cap. And here's how I know I'm changing. The second I noticed him, I became maternal. Like, I saw him, and I just wanted to iron his clothes and, like, help him out. I was like, this youth needs me. So he came up to me, and I have to give him credit. He approached me with such confidence. He came up to me, he was like, I'm saying, Ma, let me get your phone number. And I was like, no. He's like, why come I can't get your number? Well, let's start with breaking down that sentence, because that is your first clue. So then I said, you know what? I think I'm too old for you. He said, how old are you? So I said, 34. And you could see the damn in his face. Like it was the oldest age he'd ever heard of in his life. And he couldn't fathom how I made it 34 years on this earth. And then he tried to backpedal. He was like, I'm saying, Ma, you don't look 34. And I was like, well, thank you. Should I have like a hump and a lazy eye to help you out? And next time he sees a girl with a hump, oh, she 34. That's when they get they hump. See, that's when having a boyfriend comes in handy. Because you can use the boyfriend card. Right? It's like, I'm sorry, I have a boyfriend. Like they've just been disqualified from some sort of contest. Thank you for playing, but I have a boyfriend. Better luck next time. It's really awkward when you bring up the boyfriend before the guy hits on you, though. Like some guy comes and talks to you, and you're like, I have a boyfriend, how dare you? Jesus, she was angry. I've actually been with my boyfriend now 7 years. I know. Pretty crazy. We're actually trying to have a baby. Oh, thanks. I'm going to tell him real soon. I'm kidding. I'm not going to tell him. That would ruin the surprise. I like how all the women laugh at that. So I was like, and the guys are like, He's super macho. My boyfriend is the biggest Mexican guy I've ever met in my life. He's the tallest Mexican I've ever met. He's 6'1". I know, for a second there you're like, Gina, that's kind of racist. Now you're like, nope, that's a big Mexican. Continue. Continue with your story, please. 6'1", because I don't know about anywhere else, but normally here in New York, our Mexicans are travel size. So. So for me, when I met him, I was like, are you made up of several smaller Mexicans? Like one of those Russian dolls where it's like Jorge, Jesus, Gustavo. You guys are adorable.
I live in Harlem, New York now. That's where I live now, Harlem, New York, which has actually changed though. Yeah, Harlem. Some things are still black in Harlem, like the Magic Johnson Theater. I love that theater because it's a black theater. It's interactive. Look, we talk at the screen. I love that. You know, it's a show and then there's a show. Like I saw the Lord of the Rings there years ago, and Frodo dropped the ring. And this woman yelled out, she's like, damn, do your job. She was right. Her timing was amazing. You gotta keep some things in the neighborhood. New York. New York has changed me. I used to be a really nice person. I'm a now. Chicago is nice. I don't care what the news they try to put out there about Chicago. They don't even capture the kindness that is Chicago. We're Midwest. We got that Midwest kindness. It's real. I bumped into someone here. They were like, "Ooh, I'm sorry." I was like, "But I bumped into you." They were like, "I shouldn't have been here." I was like, "Oh boy, that's real kind." Yeah, New York has changed me, and that's why I got this edge. And I think this is why I'm actually single. I'm a yeah, and it has been a while. I haven't been laid in a while, and that is a lot to tell an audience, you know, that doesn't know me. But you know, if I don't tell you, how am I gonna get laid? Right? You gotta put it out there in the universe so it comes back. And it's not that I can't, it's just I am doing something different than I've ever done before. I'm getting to know men before I sleep with them. Don't do that. Because, oh my, can they talk you out of it. Oh, it's amazing when you just listen for a second. You'll be like, no, you cannot have this. Like I had one guy tell me he was gonna take the bus to my house. The bus. I was like, this ain't no bus. Okay? This is special. It's special. And you're gonna take the bus to it? He even said he was gonna transfer to another bus. Thank you guys for laughing at that. I did this in Wisconsin. Apparently, they all ride the bus there. Oh, it was so quiet. They were offended. One lady, she was like, oh, she's fancy. Fancy lady doesn't ride the bus. I don't. I'll take the train.
I want to find love, but it feels like it's hard to find, you know? And I keep having these sort of like, oh, it's maybe, no, it's not. You know, maybe, no. And I fall for narcissists a lot. I went out with this one guy who was such a narcissist. He really said this to me once. He was like, I love you more than you love me because I love myself so much. You need to love yourself more so that you can love me more. And I was like, actually, I think we both need to love you less. Because the more I love you, the more I hate myself for loving a guy who loves himself so much. I think another clue that your romance might be on the outs is I think it starts to sizzle the second you start taking off your own clothes. Right? If you're not laughing, you're worried, by the way. You're like looking at each other like, are we done? Is it over? Because in the beginning, it's so exciting, right? When it's new and fresh, it's like, you know, you're tearing off each other's clothes, you're making a mess, you're pushing each other up against walls, consensually, hopefully. And then gradually over time, you know, you don't see it coming, but it happens very slowly. You find yourself politely taking off your shirt and folding it and putting it on your side of the bed, and then he takes off his shirt and his Invisalign and puts it on his side of the bed. Then you get under the covers, you turn out the lights, and you're like, why are you Googling Brita filters? I thought you found one you liked. And he's like, I had a coupon. And you're like, I guess I'll put my clothes back on. And he's like, I didn't even notice they were off. And you're like, it's over. It's over. So I guess the point is, maybe you guys should all start taking your clothes off right now. Yeah, it's that kind of show. They're like, we already did a long time ago. First joke in, we were naked. Our breakup was interesting because he was competitive with me. That was a problem we had. So one time, just out of the blue, he goes, you know, you're not smarter than me. And I was like, it's actually smarter than I am. And then he said, well, between you and I finished college and you didn't. And I was like, it's actually between you and me. And then he said, you and I are done. And I was like, you got that one right. I think think another problem in relationships is people don't want to commit anymore, right? People are so scared of commitment. And I don't think commitment is such a complicated thing. You know, we make it so complicated, but like, how many people, you can't see each other here, but you know, you guys probably went to the grocery store today or a park. How many people did you see? Those are the two places, right? We're allowed to go to a park or a grocery store, and that's where you meet people now. Anyway, so if you guys were at the store today, I'm sure you saw a lot of people walking by, looking at the cereal or whatever. And let's say, how many people did you actually want to see naked? Right? How many? My guess is not that many. My guess is maybe one, maybe another you were curious about. So say a miracle happens and the person that you want to see naked in the park also wants to see you naked. I mean, that's pretty miraculous, right? The same person. And then say you do all the steps to get to that place. Like you buy tickets for a comedy show. You go to listen to a girl talk about herself for an hour. Then, you know, you go to another location. You say all the right things. You get the person to take their clothes off. You finally get to that miraculous point where you get to see each other naked, and then another miracle happens and you like what you see? Do you really have to be like, I just want to see if like another miracle happens tomorrow? Like, no, just find someone you like to see naked and then just keep seeing each other naked until you don't want to see each other naked anymore. Right? That's love. It's that simple.
I'm a lot older than I look. You know, I'm black, so you'll never know. That's my black girl magic, huh? Ageless. Yeah. And it's happening. It's like, you know, I'm at that point where it's like I don't know stuff and I say the wrong things. It's inappropriate sometimes what I say. I'm not as woke as I should be. And it is embarrassing. Like, I've been messing up on my pronouns lately. Because I met someone who was not a guy or a girl. No, they were a they, which is how they wanted to be referred to. And that is important. Like, I care about that. It's just, it's new to me. And in a sentence, structurally, it makes me sound like a runaway slave. Like, where they at? They's coming? They down by the river. They gonna be mad at that joke. I'm just saying, I could do more. That's my point. I'm not doing enough. Like, the most I've done is I yelled at a white man standing too close to me at the grocery store. And that was because he could see my debit card number. And I just looked at him, I said, no peace, no justice. He was like, what are you talking about? And it's no justice, no peace. What's wrong with you? You got it wrong. It's like, I'm like, yeah. I just need space, man. Like, step back a little bit. Oh, white guys. Ooh, white guys. White guys, oh, white guys, ooh, white guys, white guys, white guys. You guys have had a pretty bad year.